Hello, you're watching Avenue X, and today let's talk about a recently finished airing Chinese web period drama, 云之羽, My Journey to You. This is a 24-episode drama that has finished airing on the platform iQIYI. It is an original script-based drama directed by 顾晓生, 洛洛. 顾晓生 is also 郭敬明. Everyone in Dramaland knows.It's his direction, his script, and 顾晓生 is kind of based on 郭敬明's nickname 郭小四, the same consonant at the beginning of each character. The script is written also by him, 洛洛, and a couple of other writers on his team. The drama is 24 episodes, but each episode is at least 60 minutes long. Some of them reaches up to 70 minutes. It is led by 虞书欣, 张凌赫, 程磊, 金靖, 卢玉晓, 孙成俊, 田家瑞. The drama was shot from the end of last year, December, to March this year. This is a very hard to rate drama. Some parts of it I enjoyed, and then for the rest of the problematic parts of the drama, it's so bad that easily to landmine. I would keep the overall thing, if being more honest about how frustrated I feel about the story. This probably is at least a one landmine drama. As usual, let me quickly introduce you to the story first, and then we're gonna go into the details. This is a completely made-up story, 武侠 story. In this fictional setup, there are two big powers, and every little players in this jianghu has no choice but to either side with one or with another. One is called Wu Feng, and it's where our female lead and female second characters come from. It's an assassin organization, very mysterious. You never know who is the boss, and people are leveled within the organization. They got sent to the male lead's camp, which looks like a type of royalty almost, that lives on a mountain and has very, very tight security, so people outside could not get in. And that's where our male lead, male second, male third, the Gong family lives. Eventually, it will lead to a big battle between these two parties, and you kind of get a winner and a loser of the whole fight, but not necessarily fully. That's like the best way I can say about the story without spoiling it. Now let's get into the detail part. Usually I break it down to good and bad. This drama is a bit hard to do that. I remember when it first went live, I watched the first 4 or 6 episodes, and I was actually quite happy with it, because at that stage of the story, they're just setting up characters, putting clues in. It actually looked promising, and also each episode is super long, 16 minutes, and it's all original voice, which is not common for Chinese period dramas these days. All those elements added together, I actually had high hope for a drama to be really interesting. But then soon it turns out that the writing quality is Therefore, it's very hard for me to just like say what's purely good about it or purely bad about it, because the good things I feel about it at the beginning stage later kind of got proven. It's just they're camouflaging the fact that they can't write a good story. Let me first point out a couple of things I think would still make this drama stand out among other period dramas. Then I'm gonna rant about everything I have a problem with, which there are a lot. So the good points, number one, is it has very strong style and very distinctive style. The color scheme of this drama is not the usual pink, very bright and over-romanticized and very fakeish look Chinese period drama look. It goes to the complete opposite, very dark set, does have very strong contrast of light and shadow. The color is also mostly muted, and it doesn't do the over-the-top glorifying of skin in the traditional way, but then it does it in another way. In terms of its other aesthetics in props, costumes, the overall aesthetics of the drama, it is something that is Guo Jingming's style. Clearly, if you've watched his previous, whether it's contemporary films like Tiny Times or those fantasy films that he's done a couple, it's his style. You can easily tell, and it's different from everything else. So if you want to see something that is very different from the usual pretty vibrant, rosy lensed Chinese period drama, idol drama, this one is the only one I think that has this type of vibe. You may like this style a lot, or you may just completely don't get it. The second thing is, overall, I actually really enjoyed the characterization, performance, and relationships between a couple of supporting characters, including the male second, played by Cheng Lei, the male third, played by Tian Jiarui. These two actors play a pair of tightly bond brothers, and the chemistry really worked great, including female second, played by Lu Yuxiao. She kind of is weirdly in the mix of the brothers' relationship, particularly towards the second half when I was losing interest in the lead's couple story because it's so boring and nothing is happening. I just watched this drama because I want to see what happens with the Gongsan, these two brothers, and with female second, and sometimes even with the bodyguard character and the comedy character sister. I really watch the drama mostly for them. But then this drama has a lot of problems. Now let's talk about everything I can think of that is about this drama. First, an overall capping thing on this drama is it is a very uneven drama. It starts quite well and probably exceeding your expectation in terms of pacing, storytelling, setting up characters. You feel, oh, this is like a really interesting spy story. And the whole drama sets the atmosphere up really well at the beginning. And then as it goes on to about like midpoint or slightly before midpoint, things start to fall apart in terms of pacing. And a lot of things you hope you can see, particularly you have a lead, female lead and a male lead, and you want to see mostly like a story about them, right? First, they don't have that much screen time, then their story barely develops or move on forward or have anything interesting to look at. You start to lose interest. You start to shift your focus on other things. But you never forget the fact that this is essentially a spy story, yet there's no payoff in all the setups of all the secrets of people and why they're doing the things they are and who are they actually serving and what's the agenda. Like, it never really got properly paid off. It gets first wrapped up very quickly, very hastily, and the way they explained why things are the way they are is pretty much the scriptwriter insisted. If you really want to scrutinize, things can completely go another way, and the way they deduct about the problem, you can stand up and argue, but that doesn't lead to that. You know, logically, link 1 doesn't actually necessarily lead to link 2. It's just because the scriptwriter decided it has to go down that route. The ending is like, you have no idea what happened. It's not even an ambiguous ending. It's like stopped in midway and you just never find out what happens later type of completely unsatisfying story. Promising beginning, starting to slack off middle, and then completely confusing end. Now let's go into the specifics. From the most, let's say, not important but by no means not offensive thing. First is the aesthetics. It got criticized from day one when it comes out that it has too strong a Japanese vibe. Now, I would argue if you watch a lot of standard, proper Japanese television, historical period series, and look at any particular period of Japanese history, you kind of get a vibe, but it's just a vibe. In terms of the details, the hairstyles, the costumes, it's actually not really copying any specific Japanese thing. It's like taking certain elements or even the design theories and aesthetics, style, and then gets developed and created by Guo Jingming's own ideas about what is 高级美, high-level standard of beauty. You can see the elements, but it's really not exactly copying anything. And obviously, Japan and China right now just like don't have the best relation. Obviously, on internet, people are gonna just attack him for copying Japanese style and things. If we don't think about the Japanese influence and the criticism he gets, just look at it as what it is. It has a very strong sense of trying too hard. For example, he would use very pale foundation for everybody, including all the guys. So everybody looks like vampire-like. Pale beyond the natural skin tone of normal Asian people. And he would also use very dark eyebrow, over-painted eyebrow on all the guys. The tip is so drawn on. It's so defined. You can see the strokes that's done by the eyebrow pen, and it's very fake. It's like too printed on their forehead. Black block. Then the second thing is it has overuse of slow-mo. Guo Jingming is known to just love slow motion, and he likes shooting his films as if it's big MV, music video. When they're fighting, they're slow-mo. When they're looking at each other, they're slow-mo. Sometimes when somebody just shows up, like they're riding a horse, there's slow-mo and slow-mo from all angles and all kinds of camera movement so that everybody looks like posing for magazine cover shot. And he does it so much that it becomes a level of erosion to the imaginative land you create with a dramatic storytelling. It's so overused that you start to feel it is fake. On top of a lot of slow-mo shots, he has a lot of dragged out long talk scenes, conversation scenes in an interior space where two people are just talking heads for like 20 minutes, just people talking. And sometimes it's multiple people in one room and they're just talking between them. And often you have people talk also in super slow speed. It's unnatural for Chinese speakers to speak at that speed. Maybe apart from Jingjing, because she's a comedy character and she speaks the fastest. Everybody else is and they all lower their voice and a lot of breathy and very slow. Everybody is like that. You know that they are told by the director to intentionally talk like that, and it starts to become very fake. Everybody is super pretentious to be complicated and deep thinking and at ease and so laid back and high end. At the beginning, I can accept it because I was still getting into the story. I'm not sure who is who, but after 10 episodes, they're still talking like that. You start to laugh. You really cannot take them very seriously anymore. You feel like they're still acting for the camera and for the audiences to impress us, but your story is not really that well written, and none of you is actually really clever, so you still pretend to be like you know everything and everything is under your control. It becomes really funny. Then another thing, I think at the core of the story, it is really not anything deep. It doesn't touch on any heavy things about, let's say, humanity. It is still the melodrama that Guo Jingming is very good at. Since his early days of being a writer, this is just the period fictional setting version of Tiny Times. If you've watched those 4 or 5, I can't even remember how many films are there. In the 2010s, those films were really popular in China, led by Yang Mi and many other stars. If you've watched those contemporary films, this is the fictional period time version, particularly the type of speed, people tearing at each other's hairs among a group of friends or family, or an oversell and romanticizing of male friendship, or like a little bit beyond friendship. Yu Shouxin and Zhang Linghe, their coupling remained completely zero chemistry, zero reaction. On script level, the writing of this couple is so boring. Like one of the most boring and not engaging lead couple I've seen for a while. Then the last thing is, logically, right, things don't work out. If you try to look at this as a detective drama, and then all the characters' motivation, who's doing what, and when the big boss gets finally revealed, and how this person planned everything, and why he did this and that, and who actually has been pretending they don't know anything, but actually knows everything and planning, all that exposition at the end is so badly done. It's basically people standing in a room, and they just start talking. And then if you want to scrutinize the logic, the easiest way I can use a metaphor is 1 + 1 = 2. But in this drama, they would say 1 + 1 = 3. And everybody is very serious about how they can prove that 1 + 1 = 3, to the point that every other person in the story also believes in that. But everybody outside the drama, the audiences, would easily question, hold on, what you've just said logically does not lead to the next thing you claimed. It can lead to 3 other choices, and you cannot tell which one is more reasonable or possible than the other. Yet you insist the one you talked about is the only thing. So they do that in the logical chain of deduction of the story, and that's the best way I can say without spoiling it. So when you're watching it, you're like, what? Are you all dumb? Everybody's standing in the room. Do you not stand up and question about what this person just said? Because it does not make sense. Nobody questions. By a certain point, you're gonna get so disappointed and so bothered by it that you're just start to like not believing anything. Then other things such as there's a really funny fighting sequence towards the end of the drama. There's one that happens like in the crop field. 3, 4 fighting together with swords and flying in the air. That sequence is the funniest fighting sequence I've seen in years. They're all moving at such fast speed, and you can't quite tell what is the sort of like, you know, physically possible thing to propel them flying at that speed in the air constantly. You can easily tell that they're being pulled by wire at a very high speed, and you feel like the fight becomes a joke and so funny. It's almost like all the characters are fighting against the speed of the wire pulling them. Stop pulling me! Instead of actually fighting each other. I don't know how you can not laugh at how weird it appears when you watch that fight scene. And then this drama ends with a completely confusing ending of the female lead's decision, what she did, and then what happened. For female second, it also doesn't tell you what happened to her. Yes, she got away, but the way she got away is she is getting away to do something, but they never show. Did she do it? Like, what did she do with whatever she does? It just like disappears. And then the female lead as well, she did something that completely does not make logical sense, and then you still don't know what happens to her. And everyone is like, are you gonna have a season 2? Because like the way you set it up, the ending is so not finishing anything, not even an ambiguous ending. Technically speaking, I actually haven't understood what is going on in story 1. Therefore, for the second one, if there is one, where am I supposed to start? When the ending of this drama aired on the day where they get the last 6 episodes watch it in one go thing, on China's Weibo, I think the trending hashtag on this drama that went really high up on the list is 云之羽稀巴烂. 稀巴烂 is the type of something that got beaten into a pool of mess. That's the type of completely messed up and mushy thing. And I was traveling. I looked at that tag. I'm like, oh shit, how bad could it be? And I've got 2 friends who are watching, and one of them is in Canada. It's my daytime and it's her midnight, and she just started screaming. I stayed whole night up to watch the last 6 episodes, and she's like, 创死. Current popular term of being hit and run and being completely maimed, as if you're in a car crash by the drama. And when I actually watched the last 6 episodes, I understood her pain. Did I forget anything? Oh, there's one thing that early on in the drama everybody has pointed out, which is he's a writer. I mean the director, yet he made a huge mistake where he sets up the levels of assassin from the female lead's organization, 魑魅魍魉. 4 characters, it means a group of demons and ghosts that are all those bad things. He decided each character represents 1 level of assassin, and 魑is the lowest, and Mei and Wang and Liang. Actually, this word means 3 different types of demons. There's a water river demon, there is a very pretty turning into a woman demon, and then there is like a yellow dragon. 魑is 1 type, Mei is 1 type, Wang Liang is actually 1 thing, it's not 2 things. And this is a type of, if you just do a little bit research, right, you'd be sure like you don't make the mistake. Yet as a writer who has published many things and who prides himself with all his writing skills, he doesn't even know this. That's something that just keeps getting laughed at by every, I think, reviewer of this drama I've seen. Another nail on the coffin. So that would be my final review on the drama 云之羽, My Journey to You. Now it's up to you to decide whether you want to venture into this drama and see for yourself what it's like. Thank you for watching Avenue X. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.